Well, hello all. I am currently in my office and I'm about to clean up a little bit. So I figured I would talk to y'all as I'm cleaning just a little bit. To be a very impromptu, like, let's talk about it. I kind of like doing these just like randomly, just, not so structured. But the topic is dealing with negative people. How do you deal with negative people? And it's hard, especially when they are people that are around you often. Um, I feel like people give you energy, right? So it's like a battery. So either people, when they're positive, they fill you up, and when they're negative, they drain you. And so you kind of have to find that balance, especially when people are constantly around you that are negative. You have to find that balance of giving yourself space so you can always recharge. Because if you don't recharge, you are going to be empty all the time because it takes a lot to deal with negative people. Have you ever met someone who always has something uh they just always have something to complain about, and it's just like they always have a story to tell, they always have something to complain about, and it's just like nothing in your life is right. Like everything you have to complain about, like every single thing, every day you find something negative. Like you don't hear anything positive from people. Like, have you been around those people? Those people are draining. So you kind of have to just find a balance with people where sometimes you have to even just cut it off. Like, um, I hear you. I'm acknowledging, your issues, but sometimes it's just like, oh, hey, and keep it moving because I have to protect my energy and my peace because if not, you're going to drain me. Don't let people drain you. Do not let people drain you because people will try to drain you. And then on the other hand, sometimes people don't know they're draining. Sometimes people don't know that they're negative and that they always, every time they talk, every time they speak, it's a story. It's everything that's wrong in your life. It's everything that's this is messed up and this is messed up and everything's just so bad. So if you have a relationship with someone that you can be real with them and you can tell them like, hey, every time you come around, you never have nothing good to say. Every time you talk, it's always something negative. It's always something bad. Like, do you ever think of anything positive to say? Criticism, human to human, is never an easy thing. Like, we never just take things in just like, okay, yeah. Like, sometimes, um, most of the time, most of us get defensive first before we can take the criticism. But you have to make sure you have certain relationships with people too, though. If you know you don't have a strong relationship with somebody, don't go and trying to critique them about them being a negative person. Like, that doesn't work. That's just causing confrontation and unnecessary conflict. It has to come from someone that they trust, you know what I mean? Someone that they trust their judgment, they trust what they say, and it can't just be someone that they feel like are nitpicking, if that makes sense. So make sure that, the relationship is there because you know who you have strong relationships with and you know who you don't have strong relationships with. And don't just go picking with people. So make sure that the relationships are there, the bonds are there for you to be able to tell people like, you try being negative, try being positive. Like, maybe just for a day. Like, maybe just, try to think of things in a different light, in a different outlook versus everything just being negative because life is not that bad. Like, it's just not that bad. And of course, the biggest thing that we all know is that in life, there's always, always, always somebody out there who has it worse than you. Someone who's going through something 10 times worse than you. So that's always an outlook. But yeah, just, you just have to take time to recoup, recharge. And like I said, don't let negative people consume you because that's what they do. That's what they do. Negative people try to consume you and put their energy off on you because it has nowhere else to go. Energy has to transfer, whether it's good or bad. And so negative people have to transfer that energy, and the best way that they know how to do it is to make other people feel like crap and to make other people feel bad about themselves. They have to put it off on somebody. Just like you can feel when people are positive, it's the same thing people are negative. So hit them with the stop. Don't be coming here with all that. You have to build yourself up and guard yourself up too when you're dealing with negative people. It's like a shield, an invisible shield you have to have when you're constantly dealing with negative people. Just make sure that shield is strong and that, when you feel yourself being consumed with negativity by negative people, that's when you know it's time to like, hey, let me back up off you for a little bit because I'm feeling your energy. I'm feeling like you're dimming my day. Like we've had those days where you start off a day with like a good day, like it's a positive, it's a good day, right? And like the first thing you hear is, first of all, you see somebody, you're like, oh, here they come. Like, because you know that they're finna have a story, have something negative say, talking about somebody. So it's just like, here they come. And sometimes those situations can really just be like, why did I even deal with you today? Because you just took down my whole spirit. You just took down my whole day. I was at a 10, you brought it down to a 5. And then what does that require you to do? What does that require you to do? It requires you to go around positive people, build yourself back up by being around positive people, people that make you laugh, people that speak life into you. And think about like when you're having like a bad day, think of like how much sometimes it takes to pull you out of it, right? Much like when it has to do with bad energy and negativity, it's just like it takes so much to pull you up out of it. And when someone else is having a bad day, think how fast they could bring your day down. Like negative people they need to just be on their own planet amongst themselves, since they like to make everyone else angry, like to put their energy on everybody else. Just go into one little area by yourselves, because I just don't. Not saying that, and there's a difference though, because everybody has negative bad days. Like I don't think there's anybody on earth that has never had a bad day, like, or has never been negative, or has never even transferred your energy into somebody else. But when it's a constant thing, this is like your behavior. Like this is what you do. Like everyone knows you as that negative person. Even if you don't know it, everyone that's around you knows it. And people that are around you don't even want to be around you, but people are probably just not telling you that, hey, you're a negative person. It's a difference between a bad day and just like you constantly have a bad life, a negative bad life. It's a difference. So, I'm not saying that we're not human or that we're not going to have bad days or negative moments or negativity at all, because we're human. We're going to talk about people. We're going to have negative days. We're going to have bad days. We're going to, sometimes you're having a bad day and you may be a little bit more snappy with the lady at the grocery store, or maybe a little bit more snappy with your kids or your mom or your husband. The difference. But if you are just like constantly a negative person, sometimes you have to take a step back and just like listen to yourself, listen to how you're constantly, what are you constantly talking about, how are you constantly feeling, what are you constantly putting off on other people, because that's important. That's how you're gonna change your thinking. So yes, those are just my tips, my little impromptu tips of dealing with negativity. No one has it figured out, but if you can protect your peace as much as possible, I suggest you do that. And don't let people bring you down all the time. Don't even let people consume you with all their negative stories. Like, it's just like decipher your time and your energy, because that's what's going to keep you uplifted and positive. So, that's all I have, you guys. Very impromptu, but just a little gem that you can take or leave it. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see y'all in my next